Verify This. Building trust in a world of data breaches and digital threats, one episode at a time. Hey everybody, and welcome back. We like to take these deep dives into all sorts of interesting corners of the tech world, and, well, today we're diving into digital security.
Ooh, exciting.
Right. But specifically, something I think we can all relate to, passwords.
I was going to say, I was just thinking about all my passwords.
Are they on their way out? Are we finally going to be rid of them? And if so, what in the world is going to replace them? Because, let's be honest, they're a pain.
Huge pain, yeah.
But before we think about getting rid of them, let's talk about why they're such a problem in the first place. You might be thinking, well, I've got a password manager. I'm good.
Yeah.
But, the stats say over 80% of hacking is linked to weak or stolen passwords.
It's true. It's a big problem.
Yeah. So that's kind of why we wanted to dive into this today.
Absolutely.
And to help us do that, I'd love to introduce our expert in all things digital security.
Thanks so much for having me.
So let's start with the obvious. Why are passwords so vulnerable? I mean, I use a password manager, like I said, but I still feel like I'm constantly having to come up with these crazy complex passwords that I can't remember.
Right. It is so much to manage. And I think the issue is honestly with human behavior more than anything else.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
We tend to pick passwords that are easy to remember. So we go for things that are familiar words or dates or names, but then we end up using those same passwords across multiple accounts.
Yeah.
You're not alone. Everybody does it. And, hackers know that.
Right. Yeah.
They can use algorithms to exploit those common patterns. And so that's one reason they're so vulnerable. But, there's also the problem of the systems themselves.
Oh, yeah. True.
There are vulnerabilities that can expose even the most complex passwords if they're not stored properly or if there's a breach in the system.
So like a double whammy.
Yeah.
Right? It's us and it's the systems. Okay, so if passwords are this flawed, what are the alternatives? We keep hearing about this passwordless future. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, passwordless sounds kind of like this futuristic utopia where you just blink and you're in.
Right, like magic.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not quite there yet. But it essentially means shifting away from relying only on something, like a password, to something you are, and that's biometrics.
Okay, yeah, biometrics like our fingerprints or face scans.
Exactly, and we see those everywhere now.
Yeah, all over the place.
But there's another really cool biometric that's emerging that people might not be as familiar with, and that's voice biometrics.
Voice authentication.
Yeah, using the unique characteristics of your voice to verify your identity.
Wow, okay, that's interesting. I can see how that could be super convenient.
Oh, for sure.
And hopefully way more secure. But I have to ask, how does it work? What makes my voice so unique that it can be used like a fingerprint?
It is fascinating. Every single voice is unique, like a fingerprint. Voice biometrics looks at all these different factors, the shape of your vocal tract, your tone, how fast or slow you speak, your rhythm, even subtle things like your breathing patterns. All of that creates your own unique voice print that can be used for authentication.
So it's not just what you say, but how you say it.
Precisely.
That's really cool. Okay, but let's get real. How secure is it? Is it actually better than a traditional password?
Well, the security of any system depends on how it's implemented, but voice biometrics does have some inherent advantages. It's very hard to replicate because it relies on such complex physiological traits, and the technology is getting incredibly accurate. Some companies like V2Verify are achieving accuracy rates over 99% using just 2 seconds of natural speech.
2 seconds? Wow. Okay, so that brings up another question. What about accents? Or if I have a cold and my voice sounds different, can those things mess it up?
Yeah, those are great questions. And it's something that voice biometrics has to contend with. The technology is designed to be able to handle those variations to a degree. So it's not looking for a perfect match with a specific recording, but more analyzing those underlying vocal characteristics that tend to stay fairly stable over time.
Just kind of constantly learning and adapting to those little nuances.
That's right. And there are also different approaches to voice biometrics. Some systems use what's called text-dependent, where you have to say a specific phrase.
Okay.
And others are text-independent, which means they analyze how you speak naturally.
Interesting. So I'm imagining different applications would use different approaches.
Exactly.
Okay, so all this is super cool, but let's bring it back down to earth for our listeners. What would a passwordless world actually look like for them? I mean, how would this change their everyday digital lives?
Imagine logging into your bank, your email, your favorite shopping sites just by speaking.
Wow.
No more frantic password resets.
Yes.
No more struggling to remember those crazy long passwords that, have all the special characters and numbers and upper and lowercase letters. It's all about streamlining security and actually making it stronger at the same time.
It sounds pretty appealing to me, that's for sure. But beyond the convenience, what are some of the bigger implications of this technology?
I think this could really transform entire industries. Think about call centers, financial institutions, healthcare. Voice biometrics could dramatically cut down on fraud, improve identity management, and make things more efficient.
And I'm guessing efficiency often translates to lower costs.
Exactly, which can benefit everyone in the long run.
Okay, so it sounds like we're really on the verge of a huge shift in how we interact with technology.
I think so.
But like with any new tech, there are always concerns. What are some things we should be thinking about as voice biometrics becomes more common?
Well, you're right. No tech is perfect, and privacy is a big one. How comfortable are people with companies storing our voice prints? How do we make sure that data is protected and not misused? These are really important questions.
They are. It seems like with every new advancement in tech, we have to consider the security and the privacy implications.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act for sure.
Well, this has been an amazing conversation.
I've really enjoyed it.
I feel like we've really only just scratched the surface of this topic, though. It seems like the end of passwords could be near, and I'm kind of excited about it.
Too.
The future of digital security is going to look so different, and I think this is just the beginning. So hopefully this deep dive has given everyone listening a little bit more insight into this whole world of digital trust, and maybe even inspired you to take some steps to boost your own online security. Because ultimately, it's about asking yourself, how much do you trust the digital world? And what are you doing to protect yourself within it?
That's a great question to leave everyone with.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, everybody. We'll see you next time.